to move on to the next guest, but I do appreciate you, and I thank you for coming up and sharing with us. Thank you.
You're really nice. Have a good day.
Yeah.
You gonna suffer. You gonna suffer. That's the song that's in my head.
That's the song. Yeah. When I found out my ex-boyfriend cheated on me when I was in India, I played that motherfucking song and made him sleep in the chair and blasted that shit, though.
That's the song that's playing in my head. And I was like, I should probably have her play it, but it's not gonna be loud. This guy loves some suffering. Vilia, is it Viliami?
Yeah, it's Viliami.
Viliami, are you a Christian?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes. Are you a Christian?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a follower of God.
Are you a Hebrew Israelite?
Oh, no.
Okay. I only asked because you didn't say you were a follower of Christ. You said follower of God. That can mean anything. Okay. So why does God want suffering?
Before I answer your question, I just want to say peace and blessings to everyone in here. And,
No.
just thank you for the opportunity to answer this question. I feel
No. They need
God,
to be rebuked
wants us
sharply.
to suffer because,
Ain't no peace.
just feel
Ain't no
like, He has a
blessings.
purpose for us in our life.
God wants you to suffer because He has a purpose for you.
Yeah. And sometimes things dramatic has to happen for us to call on to Him. That's just my opinion.
That's just their opinion. But according to the Bible, no.
When I
God,
look at Jesus
the
as
key
sufferer,
word that you
we
got
complain
there
about a lot of our
is
sufferings.
want. That's the one. That's the word
I don't
that
know,
y'all already know what I'm about.
I just feel like I'm calling.
But I don't.
I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah who believes in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Why you put
Period.
tests in there?
Because I'm trying to buy subs, but it's telling me to restore my sub.
All these, so they're not going to have,
No, it's
the strength and truth to power like
the
me.
line was acting weird. I mean, it is clearly acting weird. But I don't understand.
Yeah,
Here's what I don't
I'm
understand,
not a
right?
Hebrew. There's no such thing as a Hebrew
When y'all
Israelite.
compare like our experiences to that of
Israelites
Jesus,
speak
right? If Jesus
Hebrew.
was the only begotten Son of God,
Yeah, Abram
who knew
was the
that
Hebrew.
what his purpose was when he came here, he knew that this experience, essentially, this is an experience that he in fact chose because him being
forefather of Abraham named
a
Eber.
God, right? He knew that he had to come and die for the sins of the whole. So he knew his purpose, right? So the things that he took upon himself, he willingly took upon himself. You can't compare the actions and the actions of a God and their decision making and their reasoning for what they do in this text comparable to that of a child who is not omniscient, who does not know, did not ask. Thank y'all for sending out subs. Thinker sent 10 subs just now. Thank you so much, Thinker. Thank y'all. So you can't really equate the two. It's not analogous. Like, she didn't ask for her experience. She doesn't. Why does I don't understand what you mean. Like trying to make it like Jesus. You can't you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I don't. Again, I'm not really knowledgeable. I just came here to see some of y'all answers as well too.
Dad, you're the Bible study.
I'm just here just trying to get some wisdom from y'all and
yeah. I mean, I think what
you're there to get some wisdom from them.
Believers to ask themselves, why does my all-powerful God need to take the path of suffering? Why does my all-powerful God, who in the text, if I'm a believer, there are assurances that are in the text, right?
All right, Holy Spirit, you want me to talk to them?
Righteous run into you and they are
give me the
safe,
information.
right?
I don't know if I feel like dogging them today.
All the things that people say about this God and how the book
why do you
depicts him
want
as
suffering?
If he cares for the lilies of the field, how much more will he care for you? You know what I mean? And they don't do anything, right? The lilies of the field do nothing. His eyes on the sparrows. He takes care of the least or the most.
I mean, you gotta really.
For humans,
it's the design.
Yeah, of course.
The way
that
designed
child is
it.
being
Now I can see if you want.
violated by those that are supposed to protect her. That's God's purpose. There's purpose in that for that child. Or a woman is
That's how
raped,
you
or
phrased it.
a
Just
man is
addressing how
violated,
you
or a
phrased the
man,
question.
people
Why does
experience
God
harm
want, and you
in
put
this
want in the
life,
middle and the
and,
center of it?
Christians will say,
Want,
oh, well,
like he wants that.
God is
Nobody
using
wants
that
suffering, baby.
struggle to
Not
teach them
even
something.
God. You
Those
think
two
God
things don't line up.
wanted to really? Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't
Just
ever
saw that it was
try
necessary.
to. I apologize for even comparing.
Nobody
that.
wants
I
it.
could never be like Jesus ever.
But is it?
By where I feel at the
But
first step.
in order to demonstrate certain things,
Yeah,
you might have to suffer.
Yeah.
Something I need to dive into then. To
When
suffering.
man made the choice to
People ask me all the time, like,
against the
what
commandment of God,
would I ever go back to
suffering came
Christianity?
into the world. You think it was in the world prior to that?
Think about
Whether you
things
believe or
like this,
not,
and
let's
when
just
I
take
was
the
a believer,
story
I
as a
definitely gave
principle.
God these omni properties, and we see now like that is one of the most
Do you know
diabolical
the
things you can
end
do to this
product?
character.
The
It
end,
completely derailed, like it leaves
in the
no
end,
standing
shall
for
wipe
anything
all
else.
tears and
But the
from
fact
your
of the matter is,
eyes.
I thought God to be
No one
omnipresent,
wants to suffer.
all loving, all loving God, all powerful, and all these things.
Whom
But
you don't
then you ask
believe
yourself
in.
the question, like, so if a child, and I'm really good for, like, I really, especially as of late, have been putting myself in the position of those that had to experience the God in these stories that we're reading in the text, and it's like,
Why are you
or
doing
if I
that?
put myself in a child who was violated by someone, people in the church and things like that, that whole thing.
That's where it comes from.
If God is omniscient, that means God knew about it. If God is omnipresent, that means God was there. If God is all powerful, that means God could have stopped it. If God did not do those things, that means God allowed it. And if God allowed that to happen to me, then God does not love me.
That's fire. Thank you. Yeah, I needed to hear that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you needed to hear that.
Yep. And it's quite diabolical when Christians will come up and still try to make excuses for the God, and they will say things
You
like,
know,
well, there's purpose in it. Maybe you're supposed to have
you're
gone through these
asking
things
why
and
though.
experience these things so
If
that
you
you
know
can help
why,
someone
do you
else
know the
that
answer to
goes
this
through and
question?
experiences those things. Again, removing the fact that then if the God has no power, if the God has no means or desire to step in and protect
She doesn't
those
even
that
have
he's
the answer
created
to
and
the
has called,
question.
quote
Then
unquote,
why
unto
ask?
himself, then he's useless and he's not worthy of worship in the first place. So
All
whether
right
he
then.
exists or doesn't
So
exist, he's
why are
not
you
my God. He's
asking?
not the God that I would choose, and I reject him
What God
at
would
every
you
turn.
choose?
But that's just me.
Where is the God
I'm not
that
here to tell
exists
grown folk
that
what to
has no
do.
suffering?
Did you have any questions or anything?
No, I appreciate it. I'm just here to listen and
No,
take in the message.
no. I ain't coming to fight.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in the comments. We do have some Christians that want to come up and engage. If you think of a question you want to come
I'm
back up,
fully
feel free to
engaged.
hit the guest request again. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Guess who? Why you? Oh, you know, next. It was you. No, King. I spoke with you already. I want to hear from someone that I hadn't spoken to, but we'll circle back around to you. Don't worry about it. Guess who? Why is your God one suffering?
Hello. How are you? I'm just looking at how you phrase the question. Why does God want? And you got want right in the middle of the whole thing. Want. No, God does. Who on earth wants suffering? Nobody wants suffering. Is it necessary? Yes. When man trespass against the commandments of God, suffering entered into the earth. So, and then to demonstrate the redemption of man, God Himself, partook in the suffering to redeem that which was lost. So that's the character of the being that you are having this question or questioning concerning of why He wants suffering. No one wants to suffer. Even His own Son didn't want to go through the things that He was prophesied to go through. But He said, not my will, let thy will be done, because it was necessary to experience suffering, to suffer. You might get up and go to work. You might not want to go to work. You might have to struggle to take care and provide for your family. You might have to suffer through some things, so it becomes necessary. But nobody really wants it. So no one really wants to die, but it seems like it's necessary to pass. Death wasn't even in the earth at one particular time. So, but because man has trespassed against the commandments of God, suffering entered into this realm. But no God that you think you're going to find, no God that you ever read about that you're going to find is going to be without trial or tribulation or suffering. And sometimes suffering is necessary. If you want to, he designed himself to suffer, to redeem you, to redeem a souls that was lost from disobeying him. That is a display of character of only one trait I can think of is love. The same way you get up and go to work and to provide for your family is the same trait that you have, is the same trait that your creator has. But there's nobody that really wants to suffer. Is it necessary? Yes. That's the understanding of why why there is suffering in the world, but nobody really wants suffering.
The all-powerful God doesn't want suffering, but allows it to be.
No, I just explained to you why. You can't give the definition of what something opposite of what I just said. I said suffering in the Garden of Eden. There was no suffering. There was no suffering. There was none of that. The only suffering came about there wasn't even death. So whether you believe in that story or not, I'm just sticking to the story. Whether there was no such thing as even death in that story. So there was no suffering.
Okay, so here's the thing. So your God created good. Your God created evil. Your God created humans. Your God created all the animals, beasts of the field, including the serpent. Your God created the trees, all of them that the humans were supposed to eat from. He also created the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. He took all of those things and he put them all in the same little enclosure in the garden. And then he stood there and watched them fuck it all up. And you want to tell me you didn't want that?
And watch who mess it all up.
He watched the serpent and the man and the woman do what he didn't want them to do.
His creatures. He
Are you kidding me, man? Are you? All right, so listen to.
Out of nowhere. He's the
all right, yeah, I understand that, but listen to what you said. He didn't mess it up. Now the serpent, we all know who that is. Who has already had trespassed the commandments of God because of pride already.
None of that matters.
But you mentioned them though. You mentioned them. You mentioned them though.
We know, right? We know who the characters are.
All right then. So why you mention them?
But what we're dealing with is the fact that the God, the all-knowing God, the all-powerful God, creator of all of these things, knowing each and the most intimate and the intricate things about each and every one of these creations, put all of these things together, knowing what the outcome would be. The responsibility is not on the people or the serpent even, who may have done the thing. He knew they were going to do the thing and allowed them to do the thing.
Yeah, so what?
You're the K. Thank you so much, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
So what are you saying? So like just like this, right? Say you're in a relationship and or you have a friend, I put money on the table just to see a character of who I'm around. And they take the money off from me. Now I know who I'm dealing with.
You're not omniscient. God
Excuse me, I never claimed to be omniscient. That has nothing to do with it. I don't have to know everything to want to know the character of the person I'm dealing with. Don't you do that?
God knows the character.
All right, but I'm just saying, but don't you do that? Don't you do that? Don't you test people?
Do I leave money out to see if somebody...
No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, that was just an example, but don't you test people? Don't you test people around you?
No, why would you
No,
need
I
to
don't
do
test
I ain't
people around
ask
me.
you. I'm asking
Is she
Christina.
omniscient?
Does that has nothing to do with it?
It has
But why
You
do you
don't have to
even
know
think that's
everything
normal to be testing? What are you testing for?
to see who the character of the person that's around. If you cut,
I don't
look,
Then you're
look,
not
don't you?
omniscient.
All right, don't you ask people
He's
questions?
not understanding that part. He's getting lost.
No, I understand. No, you're
It's a
lost.
hobby
You're
of his to
lost,
get
not
No,
lost.
you're
me.
lost. You're
You're
lost.
lost, not me.
Who
Not me.
decided the
You're lost.
punishment? Who decided the
Remember that.
punishments? Who decided the punishment?
Who also decided the blessing? Who also
answer
decided
the
it?
question. Don't ask another question. Who decided the
Well,
punishment?
well, what you want me to answer? You already know the answer to that.
So your God decided that the
You
punishment
already
would
know
be
the
suffering.
answer.
Yeah, so your God decided that the punishment would be suffering, correct?
You already know that.
So
Yes.
then your God wanted suffering as
Okay,
a
yeah.
punishment.
So that makes a lot of sense, right? What you just said. Why should I
Well,
listen to you?
that's what he chose, right? He
That
chose
doesn't make any
suffering as the
sense.
punishment.
That
So,
doesn't
like,
make
if
any
you have
sense.
children, guess who? You have children?
Do you?
Yes. Do you?
Yes.
Fuck, dude.
Okay. And so when your children do something bad, you choose their punishment, correct?
Do you? Let me ask you. Do you choose their
I
punishment?
do. Absolutely, I do.
All right then. So why are you asking
Okay.
me
And
frivolous
so
questions?
the punishment that you choose for your children is suitable for what they do, right? Like you didn't choose.
Oh, so you're saying you
for
don't
your
agree with
children
the
to.
you don't agree with the
No, no, no,
punishment?
no. Guess who? You choose the punishment that you want to give your children when they act bad, correct? Like I don't want to whip my children, so I don't. I don't
Well,
hit
well,
my
sorry for
children.
you. Sorry for you.
No. Listen, I don't desire to cause physical harm to my children as a punishment, so I don't.
Well, the Bible
Okay.
says you spare the
Hold
rod,
on.
you
Guess who?
spoil the
Let me finish,
child.
please. Guess who? Let me finish.
All right, go ahead.
So I don't do the things to my children that I don't desire, that I don't want. And so when your God
They always
chose
muting you,
suffering
man.
as the
That's why I don't
punishment
like coming
to
down
his
here, man.
first newborn twins,
I ain't even gonna
that's
take
what he
myself off
desired.
of it.
That's
I'm
what
gonna
he
let them
wanted.
have
That
it.
was the punishment he wanted. Right?
Come off mute.
Yes.
Later.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why she asked, why does your God want suffering?
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't even make sense.
You
That
said you understood.
no, I understood what she listen. That just because I understand where she's coming from, that doesn't mean it's in alignment with the truth. It doesn't align, ma'am. Because if you say your type of punishment is, all right, I want to take privileges away, knowing that they enjoy the privileges. Do you think they're suffering? Yes, they are.
Right.
It's
That's the
just a
punishment that
different
I
degree
wanted them
of
to have.
suffering.
That's the punishment that I wanted them to have.
All right, then. So it wasn't even necessary, but it's still not in an alignment. It's
Was out of
because
alignment?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because you professed right out of your mouth you don't want to harm your children in any way.
I said I don't want to physically harm
Well,
them.
you don't want to physically harm them. Okay, let me be more specific to what you said. You don't want to physically harm them. That gave me the indication to feel like you don't want to harm them, period.
No, I didn't say. I said.
I didn't say
no.
you said that. I said
If
that
I
gave me
punish
the
them by
indication.
taking
See, she's
away their
cutting me
stuff,
off.
I
I was still
know
talking.
that's going to because I don't misquote me. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
All right.
exactly
Well,
what
I'm not
mean.
misquoting you, ma'am. I'm just
Why are
telling you
getting
what I
upset?
got out of it. I'm not misquoting you.
Literally getting upset. Like
She
what
get on
I'm
my
saying
nerves. Y'all
is,
get on my
I
nerves,
don't do
yo.
things to my children that I
What
do
the
not
freak is like?
want to
Look,
do.
man.
Like I don't want to cause them physical bodily harm, right? So I don't.
That
hit
has
my
nothing to do
children,
with it.
right? I'm not going to assign a punishment to them that I don't desire.
Oh my God.
Right? And so when your God chose cancer, when he chose,
He chose cancer.
death, which death had to exist in the garden for Adam to be created
He
to
chose
cultivate the garden.
cancer. Like
Right?
these people are crazy.
Plants had to have died for Adam to be the one to have to clean that shit up. But I digress on that. Your
Oh
God
my
chose
God,
death,
bro.
Your God chose cancer. Your God chose famine. Your God chose war. Your God chose genocide. He chose hurricane. He chose all these things as a punishment for them disobeying him. That was his desire. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. When you desire to whatever degree of punishment that you have for your children. Did you desire that for them?
Yes, I desire for them not to be physically harmed. I desire for them to learn a lesson. I desire for them to miss whatever product I took away from them or whatever party I didn't let them to go to. For them to
Why?
feel so that they will learn.
That's all
But
I
that's what
needed
I
to know.
wanted.
Thank you,
But
ma'am.
listen,
Thank you,
the,
ma'am.
the
That's
point
all I
is,
needed
hey,
to
hey,
know.
hey, hey, guess who? Guess who? The point is, that's what I wanted them to learn. So that's what I
Thank
chose.
you.
I didn't want them to physically be harmed. So I didn't choose that. So the question is, why did your God choose suffering as the punishment?
All right,
Why did
ma'am.
he
All right,
want
ma'am. Let
suffering?
me ask
That's
you
the
a question
question.
though. Did they suffer nonetheless when you made that decision?
No.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Now can I talk? Can
Uh,
I talk now
did you
without being
did you just make a
interrupted?
point? Was that a
I'm
mic
not
drop
gonna
or
I
address.
don't know what
I'm
it
I'm not gonna.
confused.
No, I'm
What's your
confused. I'm
point?
more confused than you, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know that.
No. Yeah, I'm more confused with you, not with what my point of view is, because you said
Like,
you
did you make a
you
mic drop or
actually
something?
said right out of your mouth that they didn't suffer. That's not true.
What?
All right, never mind, ma'am. Never mind. I could tell that's above your head. I don't know how, but that's
No, you
fine.
think
Wow.
being uncomfortable
Oh
is
my
suffering.
lord.
You're the
I
least
don't
equipped
I
God
don't
to have
even
your
want to
business
have
go
that
on.
conversation. I'm on
Like
because it's
you
not in
think them
it's
being uncomfortable is suffering? Like
no,
them
I
being
no, ma'am. You
sad that they
taking a
missed the party is
you're
suffering?
punish whatever degree of punishment that you're doing, you're absolutely punishing them.
Right,
That's not
punishment,
suffering.
discipline. That's not
I
suffering.
said that's discipline. Oh my goodness,
No, you
man.
asked me if
Never
it was
mind,
suffering, and
ma'am.
I
Never
said
mind.
no.
Never mind. I'm talking about God now. I'm done.
Imagine a guy
I'm
What?
making
done.
you
I'm
go to
talking
work
about God
yes
now
telling
because
you that you're not
you're
smart enough.
saying that they don't have no sort of discomfort. What do you equate suffering to?
They didn't say that. I did not say that. Don't put words in
I
my
ain't
mouth.
ask. I ain't say you say that. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. Never mind, ma'am. I don't want
Do you
to.
know? Do you know
This
his
is
defense of
ridiculous. This is
using
a ridiculous back and
spelling
forth.
"guess who"
All
wrong
I'm
was
saying
that
is,
he used to have a
God,
question
the
mark in there
suffering was not
because
even
he
in
thinks
the
"guess
earth.
who" was
Hold
a
on,
question.
suffering was not even
Oh
in the
wow.
earth.
Yeah,
It was not
that
even
kind of
in
stuff.
the earth until man transgressed the commandments of God. Death itself was not even in the earth. So it's
It
not the
had to
will
be.
of God
Death
for
had to
man to
be.
just want. So
Things had to
nobody
die. Like for
wants to
Adam,
suffer.
listen, Adam was literally created to cultivate the ground. He was created to be a groundskeeper, right?
That's not
So,
suffering.
no, listen, I'm talking
Oh,
about
oh,
death. I'm
shut
talking
up!
about death,
You shut
okay?
up, punk.
Death had to exist.
You shut up, punk.
Plants had to die, right? In order for Adam to be needed to cultivate the
Oh
ground,
my
right? He's a
God.
groundskeeper. Death had to exist.
Like, what is compost?
All right, I'm not going to get into nothing frivolous and stupid. All right, the thing is that
That's your
mankind
whole
himself
existence.
did their mankind itself period was not dying. Okay, they didn't die. There was no death in the earth. But
There
the
was two
commandment
people. What
was
the fuck are you talking about?
And they were just created. How do you
listen,
know
man. Let me
that?
They
finish.
were days old.
Listen, listen. Death itself, suffering itself. I'm dealing with the subject of suffering. Suffering
They were
itself was not
they were
in the
days
existence.
old. Like literally.
So it don't matter how many days old it was. You weren't, and you don't know that anyway. Who do
I
How
can
do
you?
read.
you
Oh,
know
I can
that?
read.
I don't care. It don't matter. None of that even matters. None of that even matters. That's not even the point. The point is
Supposed to do then?
the point is there was no death or
What was the
suffering.
tree of life supposed to do?
There
This
was
is a
no
very important
look. That's
question.
not even the point. There was no
What was
death.
the
There
tree
was
of
Very
no
life
important
suffering.
question.
supposed
What
to
is it
do?
for?
There was no suffering. That has no. It don't
There
matter
was
what it
no
was for.
death. What was the tree
It
of
was
life
no. It
supposed
don't
to
matter. It
do?
was no suffering.
It matters. It matters.
No, it don't. It matters to you.
I want you to.
Big me up real
Yeah,
quick.
It matters to you.
it's a very important question that I would like
Yeah,
for
of
you to
course
ask.
you.
It's not
Of
a
course, it's
question.
important because it's off topic. But that's
But
No,
why
no,
it's
no.
question.
important to
No,
you.
it's actually quite where we are.
How is that quite? All right, let me answer it then. Since y'all want to believe that's where it belongs. It don't believe that. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But nevertheless, I'll answer it anyway. The tree of life. You partake of the tree of life to maintain life. Period. That answers it.
But you said you said there was no death at all, correct?
All right, never mind. Do you believe there were death, ma'am? Yes or no?
I'm asking you what you said.
No.
Sir.
All right, I'm gonna tell you what I said one more
What was the
time. Oh,
tree
look,
of life supposed
because
to
this
do
really has
if they
nothing
were-
to do with it. I'm
if they
talking
were
about
already
suffering.
supposed to live?
I'm talking about suffering. Who was suffering in the Garden of Eden? Let's talk about that.
I have a mute button. If they were already
Oh my
supposed
God,
to
bro.
live forever, and there was no death. Oh, look at that.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lord.
Links in the
Thank you,
bio. Links in the
Mama.
bio. Links in the bio.
That looks so good.
That's
so if they were
stupid.
not supposed to die, what was the tree of life supposed to do, Guesser?
Why is it not weird? I don't know.
Partake of the tree of life.
Oh,
now,
that was 20 for that was for him.
Was that the 20?
Yeah,
But
that was
yeah,
for him.
Partake of the tree of life.
If there was no
Partake
death,
of the tree of
what was
life,
his threat
stupid.
about?
And Mac,
He
you
said,
a buster. You don't need to talk about God.
He said, if you
If you don't eat, he said if you eat of it, you will die.
dum dum, how if there's no death, how are
Yeah.
they supposed to comprehend that?
Just be saying shit.
It's dumb. It's professionally dumb, except no one pays them.
Not with him being back in the request. They paid to drop you. You can't come back up. I don't know some of these people.
Let's see if they're earning.
Why do they do that so fast? Like, how do they request back so fast?
Because
Like,
it's
you were
it's,
just dropped.
it's out of
Weird.
habit.
Yeah.
He's used to getting dropped.
Christina, can I ask Terrence a question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Terrence,
He's gonna get you.
Terrence,
Come on, there you go.
how you doing?
All right. How about you?
I'm doing good. You feeling better this morning?
Oh yes.
Good. Are you okay with me talking to you like this, or do you need me to change my voice? Like,
You can talk to me however you feel.
we're not gonna have the same issue we had last night?
Oh no.
Okay, cool. Just checking on you. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not coming down from the heavens to talk to them no more. I was having a good time before I talked to them. It's not necessary, not even to post it. You know what I mean? Like they're just absolutely out of their mind. Now you notice that there was no such thing as suffering. They're nuts. Like they're really nuts. And God bless them. Godspeed to them. They ain't got to worry about me coming back because, someone requested to get me out of there because they don't want the truth. They don't want the truth. Though I explained to them thoroughly what it was. I'm hostile because that's just the way I am. It's a weakness of mine. Probably would got me kicked out, but I don't care. Being kicked out of an abandoned building. Like that, it doesn't bother me at all. Like that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Being kicked out of a condemned building. That bothers me nothing. But what does bother me is how stupid people be acting. You know what I mean? That bothers me. So, look, that's just another one of the Christina Carolites, and I'm done with them. You know what I mean? Let me just move on, and that's just not. I ain't with that. That's where they want to be. Let them be there. So, unless God moves me to go back over there, I don't need to be dealing with them. You know what I mean? They condemned already. Like that's a condemnation. Asking, just constantly. Like there's something wrong with that. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna pray for them. Blessings to them. Pray for them that they'll turn their minds around and they have a close encounter with the real character of the one we call God, the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, period. We all have faults. We all have flaws, and they're not beyond redemption. So they're still alive. They still breathing the air of God, though they're condemning the God the air that they're breathing. But it's fine. God can deal with it. So can I. So, but but they don't require sound doctrine. You heard what she said? Like, come on, man. She actually said that her children didn't suffer because she doesn't choose to spank them. When the Bible says if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So it's cool, you know what I mean? Like that has nothing to do with anything. I didn't want to get off into one of y'all feelings, you know. So, but anyway, blessings to them. This is Guess Who the Rapper, aka the Grand Ambassador Flesh Dynasty, here to lace your brain with some of the incredible and glorious game. What's a game, man? You know, have a blast, pass wild now, greater later. Live the life of your designs. You can be fine in your lifetime, man. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. Y'all be blessed. Peace.